Happy Thursday, everyone. This is Natalie, and you are watching Witches of the Moon. This week's topic is prayer versus petition. Now, as you can see, I'm not in my usual setting. I'm in my car because this is probably the only time I'll be able to eke out this week to get this video in, so I apologize. If it's shaky, I will do my best to keep it steady. For me, there is a very distinct difference between prayer and petition. Some prayer is petition. Some petition is done in prayer. Not all prayers are petition, and not all petitions are prayer. So let me explain that a little bit. For me, prayer is when you are in communication with your deity, specifically. When you are taking time to focus on communication with the deity. That to me is prayer. Now that can be a petition. You can be asking deity for guidance in something, for strength, to lend power to a spell, something like that. So pretty much anytime you call on deity to me is going to be a prayer. Some of those prayers are going to be petition. However, petition is not necessarily prayer. And what I mean by that is you can petition other beings, other people, other powers to be, so to speak, that are not directly deity, to lend you power or to give you strength or to help you with the situation or something like that. And what I mean by that is, if I was to come to you as a friend and say, look, I'm really in need of some positive energy, some prayers, can you help me? Can you send some stuff my way? That is a petition. I am petitioning you for assistance in some way, or lending of your energy in some way. At the same time, if I appeal to the Fae and I ask the Fae to help me with a spell or to lend me their power for a spell, that is a petition, but it's not necessarily a prayer. For me, prayer also is distinguished by, for example, if I'm doing spell work and I'm asking deity, I'm calling upon a deity or welcoming a deity. I hate to say calling a deity, but because I don't think you just dial up a deity. But if I'm calling, asking the Morrigan for help with a spell, for her to lend some power to a spell, if I'm asking Hecate or another deity, whether it be god or goddess, to give a strength and power, oomph to a spell, that to me is more of a petition, not so much of a prayer. Prayer to me is distinguished by a direct heart-to-heart communication. But a petition can come out of a prayer, so to speak. I hope that's making sense. And I don't want to sound like I'm rambling. But again, I don't necessarily think like if I'm in the working of a spell and I'm in the middle of the spell, I wouldn't consider that a prayer. To me, that would be more of a petition. Is it really important to draw a line between prayer and petition? I think for some people, it's a matter of nomenclature. I think some people see prayer and petition kind of as the same thing. To me, they're not. But one can be the other, but doesn't necessarily have to be. And I think a lot of people see it all as the same thing. And I see a lot of people in the pagan community that get offended when people say, hey, can you pray for me? I don't care what anybody else's personal religious views are. If somebody asks me to pray for them, I'm going to pray to the deity that I work with to help that person, to give them strength or, courage or, positivity, whatever it is they need. I'm going to appeal to whatever deity I'm working with or deities that I feel are going to benefit them to please lend them what they need, because I believe in helping other people. And that would be in a way a petition, because that person's asked for my prayers. Now, again, some people get all testy because they think that prayer is a Judeo-Christian term, and that is certainly not true. People were praying to deities long before Judeo-Christian beliefs came into view. So I wouldn't let the term prayer put you off. If you prefer the term petition, then say petition. But to me, they're not quite the same thing, because to me, a petition is a specific asking for something. You are requesting something specifically, whereas a prayer would be something where you're communicating a thanks to your deity or something like that. You're not asking for anything. It can't be a petition if you're not asking for something. So to me, they're very distinct, but they can cross over. And I don't want to get caught up on a lot of nomenclature and political views, and I hate politics, and I know that people see things very differently. And I assume that you're watching this channel because you want to get a lot of various viewpoints and opinions before you render your own, and that's fine. This is simply mine, and I love to hear when people disagree with something and their reasonings for why. But to me, there's a very distinct line between prayer and petition. So I hope that this has clarified that a little bit, or at least given you some food for thought. I realize that the video is a little bit short, and I apologize, but there really, for me, isn't much else to say on the matter. That's pretty much my opinion, and, you know, I hope that that at least gives you something to think about in terms of defining your own nomenclature within your practice. Thanks very much for watching again, and blessed be.